One of the more popular topics of conversation recently on the social media garden pages is, can we grow loquat here in Phoenix? And if so, how do we do it and how do we maintain it? The first rule for loquat is understanding your microclimates and finding the proper place for it. Very similar to an avocado. You don't put the loquat where you want it, you put the loquat where it wants to be. And that's going to mean heavy shade the first couple summers, an all-day filtered sun, or an early morning sun, afternoon shade environment. Summer here in Phoenix starts mid-ish April and runs up through beginning of October. Morning sun June through September means 9:30, 10 a.m. shade the rest of the day. Or an all-day filtered sun underneath a 70-ish% shade fabric. You could see that this tree was placed intentionally in this location to take advantage of some room that we had underneath this cabana. I'm facing due west here, south here. Because of the angle of the cabana and where the tree is placed, it gets sun till about 9:30, 10 a.m. Loquats have no issue with winter. They like a little bit of cold, or at least they'll deal with it. There's no reason to protect, wrap up, heat your loquats in the wintertime here in Phoenix. Loquats like a nice, well-draining soil with a lot of organic material, which basically means not our native soil. You're going to want to amend heavily with something that drains well and a lot of food on top. Mulch, compost, worm castings, fish emulsion, seaweed, a little bit of manure, straw, whatever. Loquats do not seem to be pH sensitive, so you don't have to worry about dealing with that. In regards to the varieties of loquats, I'm frequently asked what is my favorite, and to be quite honest with you, I find that they all taste kind of similar when they're grown in ground and they've been in ground for more than a year. Container grown fruit off loquats are bland. Not a lot of flavor. They don't have access to the food and water that they want. So it's just In-ground fruit's pretty good. If I had to rate them between the Oliver, Sherry, Yehuda, Bradenton, Gold Nugget, Big Jim, Italian Giant, Strawberry, Jim's White, Vista White, and all the other nonsense out there, I'd say probably Gold Nugget has the most flavor in my opinion. I like that really sweet fruit with the tangy skin. Big Jim would probably be the last on my list. It's not that it's a horrible fruit, but it just doesn't really do anything for me. It's kind of on the bland side. So Gold Nugget, if I could only have one loquat in my yard. That's not to say that the Sherry and Oliver and Bradenton and Yehuda are not good, because I enjoy those as well. They're all very good. Contrary to what I used to believe, I'm finding now that you can container grow loquat if you're going to keep it in the shade in the summer and you're going to use a large enough pot to insulate the soil from the extreme heat, such as a 25 or 45 gallon size pot or something larger. And they're going to need to stay in the shade in the summertime. You are not going to want to attempt to container grow loquat in a 3 or 5 or 7 gallon size pot through the summers here, which can reach 122 degrees. It's just too much stress on them. I lost about 50 of these trees last year because we attempted to keep them in 3 gallon size pots through the summer in the shade house, and even though they were being watered daily, you just couldn't keep up with it. In regards to seedling and grafted loquat, you can see here on my left is a grafted loquat, pretty tree. That particular one there is a champagne. On my right here is a Gold Nugget seedling. I kind of prefer seedlings for a few reasons. A, I like the look of the foliage. I like those large dark green leaves. It's a very tropical look. It's a good conversation piece. B, they seem to handle a little bit more of our sun sooner than the grafted trees. I still protect the seedlings the same as the grafted. First 2 summers, heavy shade. But it just seems that if you start off with a older, more mature specimen that is a seedling, they seem to handle our elements a little bit more. Grafted, the plus side of a grafted tree is you get fruit sooner. You can get fruit the first year on a loquat. You do not need to pick them off like you would a mango. Let them fruit. Seedlings can take 3 to 5 years to fruit of age. So it's a couple things to consider. There's pros and cons to both. Like I said earlier, loquat is one of the best fruit on earth. One of my top 2 or 3. There are no drawbacks to a loquat. Once they get through that second summer and they can handle sun, they want full sun. You do not want to shade them anymore at that point. They will go looking for sun. They will grow funky if they are getting too much shade. Keep up with the watering through the summer. They require virtually no care in the winter. And those are my opinions on loquats. If you have any questions, please ask in our Facebook group, Living the Green Life. Our Instagram page, Seamus_O'Leary_. And I hope you have a good evening.